All right, here we go. Chase,
How's it going?
what's up, my man?
Oh,
Everything.
What's up? Look at that background you got,
yeah,
man. You're
yeah, what is
fancy.
that?
Look at look at me. I'm in California.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Whoa, is that a Boston Red Sox logo that's in your?
No, that's the logo for B Suite, a podcast.
Oh,
Started.
okay,
Oh, you're a
okay.
part of a podcast?
Yes, sir.
Good for
Oh,
you,
This
bro.
guy, you got to see this guy's resume. I don't. What is it? You up to 9 pages for your resume now already?
Dude, it's a lot.
All right, let's get it started.
All right, here we go. Chase, first off, man, I appreciate it. I really do. It's been long overdue.
Yes, sir.
It's all right, here we go. 3, 2, and make sure you're recording 1. Welcome back to Stories Inside the Man Cave. And we like to keep it local, with a few national names, but we got the pride of Hutto, Texas, the former Texas Gatorade High School Football Player of the Year way back in 2018. The Chase Griffin in the house and I wish you could see his background because he's also a podcaster as well. Chase Griffin, how are you doing, man? It's been a minute since we've all spoken.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be back home, talking to you guys. As soon as I got the invite for this, I was excited. Get right back with Mr. Clinch, and I look forward to the interview.
Let's go.
Now,
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna jump in. So, what Clinch didn't tell you is I graduated from Hutto in 2002.
All right.
Back when we only had a Snuffies and a Sonic, and
Right.
Hutto was one story. What year were you born? 01?
2000.
2000. So you were 2 years old when I graduated. That's how fucking old I am now. So my name is on the gymnasium. We went to the playoffs. I think I knocked out of the first round. They put a banner up. But I'm gonna list off some names. All right, so I'm gonna list off some names, see if we know some of the same people. All right. You ready?
Sir.
Mrs. Cardwell. She was like
No.
the admin and like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mr. Lampy.
Yes. He was my debate teacher senior year.
That's awesome, man. He was my English teacher. That's pretty cool.
No,
I don't know if Miss Vasquez still there?
Yep. She was my teacher junior year, I think.
Wow.
That's funny. World geography and history or whatever
Yep.
that is. Yeah, man. I had to beg her to graduate me. I had like a 59 or it's like a 69. I was like, please just give me a 70. I need out of this. I was not good, man. I was not good in school.
You had to get those waivers every season.
Dude, here's the deal, man. I moved down my senior year of high school from Boise, Idaho, and I lived out by the Blue Water Tower off of 1660
Right.
by the landfill.
Right.
And like we had Coach Bueno, Inland. This is all. Did you know Coach Bueno? Is he back or was he there when you were there? Or no.
No, his son Brock was my safety senior year.
No shit.
Yep.
That's man,
What a
like a
small
full
world.
circle. Coach B would pull me because I had 33 credits when I moved down, so I only had to take like 4 classes.
Right.
And so one of them was math halfway through, and they realized I had too many maths. But Coach B would like call me up to his desk, be like, Murphy, did you do your homework? Like, man, Coach, I don't know. He's like, 16, 8, 14. You got a C. Hell yeah. Thanks, Coach. And now I'm doing a podcast with Clinch. So kids, do your homework. So that's cool, man. So talk to me about, being a Hutto, dude. Like how long were you at Hutto? Like playing on the field. Tell everybody the mascot for Hutto. Because there's only one of them.
Right. Well, first off, I'll say I'm not sure which study did this. It might have been USA World News, but we have the official #1 best mascot in the nation. The Hutto Hippos.
100%.
Hutto Hippos.
The
There's not
Hippos.
another one like it. There's other schools, there's school New Braunfels, Unicorns. That's not it.
3,800 fucking little hippo statues around town, too.
Absolutely.
Get at us. Get at us.
So is there a reason that Hutto is the hippos? Was it a
You-
vote amongst the
So
Chase,
community?
you want to tell him a story?
There's a story
yeah,
behind it.
there's
You want
various
to tell him a
stories.
story?
But there's various stories, but the story that I know, the best one, is there was a carnival train going through Hutto.
Yep.
There was a hippopotamus on this train that fell
Yep.
off and lived in the pond.
Yep.
So,
And it was like attacking
hippo.
boats and shit.
Yep.
Like people would go out and attack the boat, and that's how they became. That's cool, Chase. That's the same story I had.
Must be true.
It must be true.
man.
It is true.
It is
I
true.
believe
That's
in it
hilarious.
100%. Now, for those of you who did not have the opportunity, we will talk football shortly because there's more to Chase Griffin than football. We will get to the football piece quickly. He is perhaps, to me, one of the most well-rounded, achieved, and we mentioned the resume list, but this guy, I know he and I collaborated on a story being a violinist. And I want to pause real quick to
Yep.
give you some Nat sounds from a story that we did real quick.
All right.
Then boom, we'll come back. And so essentially, a brilliant young man, Chase Griffin, had several Ivy League offers. You set records at Hutto. You gained the eyes of the state of Texas. Why did you pick UCLA? I mean, you and I have had several conversations, and you're about to enter your redshirt freshman year
Right.
with the Bruins.
Right. So, I mean, first off, not really first in priorities, but the football side, Coach Kelly was one of the first, he was the first Power Five to offer me. And I know it, I could do and still can do in his offense. So on that front, it was a great match. And then two, the history at UCLA regarding excellence and pushing culture forward are resounding. You have Jackie Robinson, Arthur Ashe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jackie Joyner-Kersee. These are Rayford Johnson, Tom Bradley. Like, these are names regardless of athletics. These are names in Black history that are unrivaled by almost any other university in the nation. So there's that piece that was important to me. And then there's just the overall progressive culture that attacks things head on. You know, with the movements going on now, I think UCLA is attacking this head on by saying Black lives do matter. So I think that was something I was looking for in the university that I was choosing. And UCLA had all of that.
Nice. That's something that I did not know. I knew they had some amazing people that come through there, but you just went off a list, and I was like, oh wow, I forgot about them. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Great choice in using that as a platform to choose your school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So Chase, we ask like all the former like NFL players that come on like this question, and it's weird because you're already in school or currently in school. What was the other school you were going to go to besides UCLA? If UCLA wasn't going to be your choice, what was
Right.
number two?
Not sure. I know that the Ivy League route was really appealing to me for similar reasons, just because I place a high premium on academics, which UCLA also has. It's the number one public school in the nation. But Ivy League really is in a league of their own, them and including Stanford. And I think it probably would have been one of the Ivy Leagues. Mm-hmm. But I'm just glad it happened to be UCLA because it's such a great place.
Well, I mean,
has the best of both worlds.
Yeah, talk about your experience, but also talk about what's going on right now and what you're seeing with the movements and how things are going in California and
so
in Los Angeles and stuff.
Right, I think nationwide, everyone being inside placed a premium on social media outreach. Mm-hmm. Right. So movements that are based amongst people my age, for the majority, are enabled to use social media as a way where our voices can't be silenced because all you can see is social media. So I think by being in this situation in the Black Lives Matter movement in particular, getting very in front of everyone, making it not only just something that you see on the news, but a very personal movement. I think that's why we're seeing progress being made. And then as far as UCLA, it's not perfect, but it's progressive. So I will expect it, and I do think UCLA expects itself to be a proxy for progress being made.
Chase, you this is probably much more important topic than football right now, because
Right.
you've discussed this platform that you guys have, and it has been nothing short of impressive. You, for example, have always utilized your platform in the most positive way, not just using positive situations, but standing up for what you are and
Right.
what you believe in. But you've been at home for a short period of time because of COVID-19, and you've also continued to voice your opinion on the racial divide, which to me, and we, all three of us here weekly, we're just appalled by it. And now's the time. But you have witnessed also the University of Texas players here recently.
Right.
Do you feel like it always takes one group to knock that domino down to create a nationwide effect? Because what they've done is, to me, has been unprecedented.
Right.
To an extent.
I mean, I think it's important. Like, I commend the players at University of Texas for doing research and finding that out and exposing that and demanding positive change. These are things that student athletes are required to do if we want to see change.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more to that than just doing that. You know, a lot of people might have been asking, well, why haven't previous players done this? This has been there the whole time. But people don't realize that student athletes really are at the mercy of these institutions and these coaching staffs and these administrations. And it is up to these administrations and coaches to truly prioritize the health and safety of student athletes. Because if they don't, nobody will.
Yeah, that's true. Chase, I want to kind of piggyback on something, but it's kind of off the path of what we're discussing now. So as a, quarterback, redshirt freshman going in, how have you prepared yourself from being the man at Hutto and transitioning into college where, granted, I was a college athlete myself, and you go from being the man and you go from being, okay, you're just another guy competing for a position that 5 other guys are competing for.
Right.
Mo's humble. Mo is like a running back at A&M, right? So he's a little humble. We love him, but he's humble.
Yeah.
Just to say that. So he gets like big time programs. So just
right.
to say that.
So I think the key was, and I was actually talking about this yesterday, the key is still carry yourself like the man, because that's who you are. Mm-hmm. And also not getting discouraged when other people don't see you as that yet. Because if you keep on handling your business the way that you should handle it, it eventually will become their reality too. So I'm big on just focusing on what I want to focus on. I have my personal intrinsic drive. I believe that I'm a believer, I'm a winner, and I'm a provider. And I will do all these things while maintaining true to my faith. So as long as I stay maintaining to my values and holding myself accountable to what I know I'm supposed to be and want to be in my life, I can't really get wrapped up in not being the man on campus, because in my opinion, I'm the man wherever I go, just because that's how I need to carry myself.
And that alone right there, you will be great in whatever you do, just based about that answer right there.
See, what are you, like 19, 20 years old?
19.
Fucking hell, dude. You got
Yeah.
I told you guys all about him.
Dude. God almighty. You got
it, man.
Yeah.
You got to change the world, bro.
Yeah, I need to find your parents right now and, applaud them, because where you are right now at 19, I didn't get that till I was about 24, 25.
31. 30, maybe 30.
Yeah, you way ahead of the curve, my friend.
Yeah, you're gonna change the world, bro. So are you back in Hutto now, or are you in out? Where are you at?
I'm back home right now. And then we actually just got the call yesterday that we can resume the 22nd. So I'm probably flying back to campus Sunday night.
There you go. So what? Nice. So favorite place to eat in Hutto?
In Hutto? Oh.
I know they got a hole in the wall somewhere in Hunter, right?
Oh yeah, they got two. I'm choosing on which one I should choose.
We already talked about
Hey,
Snuffies. You might
A
as well
or
call
B?
the other one.
Yeah, you know if you say one, the other one's gonna be
For
mad.
me, I love Mexican food and I love breakfast tacos. So it's
What's
either
that little Mexican?
Mario's,
What's that?
it's
Yeah.
either Mario's or Ricardo's.
Oh,
What's
Those,
the
those,
Mexican joint behind the gas station over there by Regions Bank?
I think that might be Ricardo's.
Yeah, Ricardo's
Yeah.
with the big old. You're not old enough to drink the margaritas, but they got big old margaritas. That's funny, man.
No,
So,
those two. If you want a breakfast taco, that's where you go.
So what's your take on COVID, man? Are you worried? You're going back, all this stuff.
So
training
I'm
in it.
actually on two groups regarding COVID. I'm on the Return to Training Task Force at UCLA, and then I'm also representing one of three representatives for the Pac-12 in the California Governors sort of Return to Training group.
This dude, man, golly, man, you're smart. Dang.
So
Chase Griffin, 2036 has my vote right now.
Immediately.
Right now.
Chase, I'll write you in for this year's presidency. We have to make an exception for the age, though.
So right now we're essentially so right now we're focusing on, well, in my opinion, and not just opinion, I think it should be everyone's main focus is number one thing is not the return of students. Number one thing isn't preservation of competition. It should be the complete health and safety of student athletes, because these are institutions that are in a position where they can either take care of their student athletes or disregard student athletes as an opportunity cost. And that can't be the ethical decision in this case. Student athletes' health comes paramount.
So I'm going to follow that up. Hang on, I'm sorry. I'm going to follow that up just because you kind of mentioned it.
Yeah. Right.
Next year, they have it to where players are going to be able to make money off their likeness.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
Right. I think that is an extremely, extremely great step forward, especially regarding the NCAA. Huge thanks to Ed O'Bannon. He's been the pioneer.
Another UCLA guy.
UCLA. He's been the pioneer in this and getting not UCLA, but NCAA athletes their likeness back. Yeah. Before this, we were one of the only groups in the nation who was in this position where we did
taking advantage of. It's called a spade, man.
Right.
They took advantage of what they could.
So the same protections that need to be taking place then are even more imperative now, because it's not just the welfare and economic stability of these student athletes. It is literal health. There are health risks that are not attributed to the sport at all for students who are returning back. And there's always the whole, well, it's voluntary. Voluntary isn't voluntary in NCAA athletics. I mean, that's just the reality. If you're given the chance to do something, you are expected by your teammates, your coaches, and essentially the schools to return. So the key is protecting the integrity regarding student athletes and their health and well-being, and then also making sure there's provisions and protections and maintenances in to make sure that students' scholarships and positions on teams are also protected in case of any coach backlash.
Yeah, see, that's the deal right there, because athletes now have the platforms and the resources behind them now compared to 20 years ago when I was in school. Because if you spoke out,
right,
then 20 years ago, you were gone.
Right.
And your scholarship was out of there.
Right. And this is still a fear of, athletes everywhere, and should be addressed as such, where there are guaranteed protections.
Do as I say, not as I do type of shit.
Right. Chase, I'm not asking you to criticize the NCAA, but I will. Because, you hear Coach Mo, he said 20 years ago. Well, 20 years before that, the same rules applied for the last 40 to 50 years. There's not been any type of evolution.
Right.
And we were talking about using your platform properly, the voice of student athletes, whether you're the star, regardless, if you're a scholarship player on any level of NCAA, you should have a voice. Why do you think now? Because let's face it, the O'Bannon case wasn't yesterday. It's taken forever to see significant movement on that. Why such an archaic system by a governing body? Why is it taking now for them to evolve, do you think?
I think that because of quarantine, there was a hard reset. People were able to really reflect and become more introspective about what they thought, what mattered to them. And I think with the growth of social media and people my age and their voices actually being heard and visible 24/7 and not being able to be silenced by people in administrations, coaches, staffs, or corporate positions, I think that there's just a free flow of surveillance and a free flow of perspectives. No one's making these decisions that affect student athletes' lives in a vacuum anymore. There's scrutiny. So because of this, there's more eyes on it. So student athletes have more, they feel more enabled to say the truth about how they feel, and they feel like people will actually listen.
Yep. To add to that, the power of the interstroke right now, like everyone has a platform where they become their own journalists to tell their own story and value their own opinion. So that one kid on that team that's, you know, a decent athlete and kind of has stature, has some clout behind him, if he put out his statement, hit enter, it goes out there. His platform is so big that the school is like, whoa, this kid is gaining some steam off this one little saying. And so the school is like, oh shit, so what do we do? He's our star, he's this. What they're in a vulnerable situation also.
Right.
Compared to back when we was in school, you'd be like, hey, I don't like that shit, don't do it. Shut up. Your ass is off the team. Get out of here.
Right.
Social media has given everyone the platform, and that's one of the things about social media that I like the most is that it's giving these student athletes a platform that they need. Because what people fail to realize is that you're a student athlete, but you're a student first. So you're doing everything the other students are doing, plus more. And the school is getting paid off your athletic ability. So why not get paid off your own, you know, status and whatnot too? Like it doesn't make sense. Like a regular student can go get a job during the summer and get paid for it, but a student athlete cannot. It's violating rules. That don't even make sense.
I mean, that's a big dilemma now, because it's like, would the guidelines that are being recommended towards student athletes about coming back this summer also be regarded as safe enough guidelines for all students in whatever college system that they're in?
Right.
What are your – I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chase.
So if we are regarded as student athletes and students first, are we given the same protections that students are?
That students are, yep.
So what's the football dream for Chase Griffin and the non-football, non-athletic dream for you?
Right. So just starting with the football dream, I want to win the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
I want to do a lot of things in between.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
No. I would say I root more for players than teams.
Oh, you know what? I think that's a bullshit excuse, but I'm going to give it to you because we're fellow.
Smart, Chase.
No.
Smart, Chase.
We're fellow hippos. Like, my sister was a hipette. You can't make that up. That's one of the jokes I always tell. Like, more of a hipette now than back in the day. But Chase gets it. Chase gets it. That's hippo humor. I think it's a bullshit excuse because I think that, you can like a lot of players, but, like, there's always that one team you root for, right? Like, you're always going to root for UCLA.
Right.
Because that you have right. And I get it. I see you shaking your head, Coach Mo. But I'm just saying, all right, so you root for players.
Right.
If you could play, all right, you want to win a Super Bowl. Who do you want to win a Super Bowl for? Like if you like a state, like a team in Texas, or like you just want an opportunity?
Cleveland Browns. Any team, shit.
Shoot, if I go to Cleveland and win the Super Bowl, I might be in GOAT consideration.
Yeah, you're the next man. You win a Super Bowl in Cleveland, they won't even say. They'll be like, "Who? LeBron James? Who?"
Right.
Who? Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so you want to win a Super Bowl, which I'll be there if you ever play in a fucking Super Bowl, hands
Yes,
down.
sir.
Non-athletic dream.
Non-athletic dream. Well, I would say these always change, but
God, you're fucking
regardless
smart,
of the
man.
dream, I know I want to build wealth early, and perform public service. And that's really my calling, and do all of that while maintaining true to my faith.
Nice.
As long as I do that, I know I'm on the right track.
Cool.
If I ever had a little brother,
Man, that's a good
Chase-
answer. I'm gonna tell you two things. One, invest in a Roth IRA, an IRA and a Roth IRA if you haven't already. Keep that, note that, and start now if you haven't. Secondly, remember though, money isn't happiness. So like, create it, but keep that on your. You got a really good head on your shoulders, bro.
Absolutely.
I used to think the same thing. I used to think I want to be wealthy. Like I came from like a lower end family.
Right.
Like wealth. And as I have met my wife and married and all this, I realized that, yeah, money's great. It's nice to be able to do whatever you want to do, but you need to be able to have a good head on your shoulders and understand that money isn't happiness and
right.
You won't be that. You know what I mean? That's the only words of wisdom I would give. But yeah.
No, it's very true.
I feel like you're already smarter than me anyway, so I'm just trying to make myself so smart.
I know, for real. He's smarter than all of us on here.
Can you just run my books or something for my company? I mean,
that might be a violation.
that's funny.
Yeah.
No, we'll talk next year.
Hey, rapid fire questions. This could be football or anything personal to Chase Griffin to get to know you a little better. I'll start out with a softball, football related.
All you do is throw softballs, bro.
I know it, man.
You want to be like the likable guy.
No,
you're like,
I'm
here you go. Here you go, Chase.
Here, Chase.
Here, Chase. Let me put it on the T-ball for you.
Chip Kelly and Chase Griffin. Two-part question. What will be the win total for the UCLA Bruins this year? And what will be your role in those wins this season?
We're going 1-0 each week. And
Texas, baby.
And if I handle my business right.
Starting. Let's go. Say it.
Yeah.
Speak it into existence, bro.
That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
Favorite pizza in Texas?
Oh, I might get some flack for this, but I like Mr. Gaddy's.
Give me Mr. Gaddy's Ranch all day long on 79 right there, bro. Let's go.
This must be a huddle thing or something. We don't know about it.
Man, Chase, we're taking you to Via 313. We got to get some Detroit-style pizza.
Yeah, bro.
I've never had that. That sounds
Bro, it's downtown Austin, but you need to try it. It's like
we got till Sunday.
Well, shit, come on down, bro. We'll take you out. I mean, you got to buy your own NCAA rules, but
absolutely,
you can slide it.
There's no check on the table.
Here go one, Chase. This one here may be a bit of a curveball. What is your favorite book that you read? You've read? Yep.
Like that's not a curveball to Chase.
No,
that's an expected question.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a fastball for him.
All right, so it's a book called The Runner, and it's written by Carl Duker. Carl Duker, growing up, he's my favorite author. He wrote a lot of books that were sports related, but they're always realistic fiction, always from like the young teenage male perspective. And The Runner is really good. It's the only one of his non-sports books that I read, but it was really, really engaging. And I hope they make a movie about it. It's basically about somebody who's delivering contraband that doesn't know that they're delivering it.
Really
interesting.
And are you into nonfiction or no?
I mean, it's a realistic fiction actually, but I do prefer nonfiction.
Cool. So I'm gonna give you a couple books that you should probably try. Have you heard of the book Red Rising?
No.
Red Rising. It's a 3-part. It's like a series, but the first 3 amazing. Second one is Ready Player One.
Good one. Yeah.
You'll love both those books, bro. And I'm not a huge book guy. Amazing. The third one y'all want you to write down, Who Moved My Cheese? That's a book about it's
Is
not
that a Hutto book? Is that from Hutto?
Who Moved My Cheese is about like it's more of like educational and adapting and stuff like that. Not it's more about like mind beneficial and thinking versus the other two books I gave you. You're just gonna love, dude.
Right.
Are you a book on tape guy or are you like to read it guy?
I prefer reading it, actual handheld book.
There you go. Yeah, you'll like those, man. Those are good books.
Man,
Go ahead,
Chase
Sean.
is like Chase is like a Renaissance man. What are you really from? You was really born in 2002 or 2001? Man, you sound like you was born in 2000. Man, you sound like you was born in 1950s.
That's how we raised him in Hutto, baby.
Man.
Hutto, Texas. How long were you in Hutto, Chase?
Hutto, I was actually I'm in Round Rock. I transferred to Hutto 9th grade.
Did you
I'm
really?
a transfer, yeah.
Okay.
But no,
Nice.
my experience in Hutto couldn't really gone better.
Oh,
That's awesome, man.
Great
That's it's a fun little town.
Right.
A lot bigger when you were there than when I was there, but
It is what you make it.
it is.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what though, man, when you're from those towns, dude, you make lifelong friends. Like
Right.
I got friends from when I was in high school that are like Miss Cardwell's son. Him and I are best friends. Miss Inez Walters. I don't know if you know her. Her son. She was like the book lady forever. But anyway, keep going, Sean. I'm sorry. I just keep connecting with my little brother.
I know it, man. There's the instant connection, man. That hippo connection for life.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chase, let everyone cross promotion here. Let everyone know where they can find the link to the B-Side podcast with the Chase Griffin.
And hang on. And talk about your podcast. Like, what is it about?
So B-Suite is essentially an 8-question interview podcast where we're interviewing guests who are typically Bruin alumni, and then B, C-suite executives. So we want to get the perspective of C-suite execs, CEOs, VPs, presidents, and really study their values and what makes them great in what they do. UCLA is a place where the brand is really made up of the values that make it. So we want to examine how people and their values have been driven to do the things that they've done.
That's
That's amazing.
It's a really good. So I own an apparel company called Last Stand Hats.
All right.
And we blew up last year. We launched it in 2018.
Sweet.
Serial entrepreneur, blah 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 blah. As someone that owns a company that is successful and is in the black and all that, and growing it by leaps and bounds, that's a podcast that I would listen to.
Right.
Because like I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. Hell, I don't even listen to our podcast sometimes.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I'm part of it. I don't need to hear it. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. So narcissistic when you do. But I would challenge you, don't like when you hit your limitations, like it's more of a UCLA podcast right now. Yeah.
Well, no, that would be the focus and sort of theme of the show, but we're not limiting ourselves.
Good for you, man. That's what I was gonna say. Like
alumni or even suite execs. It's really just about people who've displayed excellence in the UCLA values and what they've done and why those values carried them to the points they're at.
That's good.
Nice.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, dude, you're on to something. Like that thing can be
That will blow up.
ginormous because if you get, I mean, from startups to small guys, and I'm not saying like put me in a podcast, but I'm saying small guys like me who are working out of their house, growing a business and making that standards and integrity, blah, blah, to the Michael Dells, to the Mark Cubans, to the, I'm just listing off people, but yeah, man, I will definitely be listening to your podcast on the regular.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
I got it right here. Look,
it's coming soon. And stay tuned.
You haven't even launched yet? Have you launched it yet?
Not yet, but we got some in the can.
I'll tell you what, man, when you want to make some swag for it, reach out to me.
Absolutely.
And we do like custom hats and stuff as well. So, man, I have to charge you, but we'll hook you up and get you some good hats.
Thank you.
Are you a hat guy or a beanie guy or a visor guy? If you're on the sideline, what are you wearing?
On the sideline, I just wear the headset when I'm on the
Yeah.
sideline. But that's only if I'm signaling. If I'm playing, I like keeping my helmet on,
Yeah.
staying
Yeah.
locked in.
There you go.
Hey,
So
Chase.
if you come off the field, you leave your helmet on?
I like keeping it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you got to take phone calls and stuff, you're just talking through the helmet?
Oh, wait, if
Oh.
I got to talk to Coach Bible.
No, I feel like you owe us one. If you get in the game next year, if we have football
Right.
and you come off, you got to at least pick the phone up and like make sure we see it on TV. But you're talking through the helmet, then you can take it off, and we'll know that's for us.
I'll see how my quarterback coach feels about that.
No, we don't have to tell you that. No. It's an inside thing, Chase.
All right,
Right.
Chase. Not a softball. Well, kind of. Give us. Your head coach is one I've not met or interviewed. Give us your best impersonation of the Chip Kelly in a quarterback meeting room situation, or maybe during a practice or during a game that maybe you can remember or imitate.
Main thing I can remember. So when I got to campus, I had a broken wrist, right? Because I broke it in my last playoff game. And I was still healing that spring ball. And I remember we called a play as a sprint out to the left. They knew I was not going to throw that ball. So I got on that sprint and I started taking off. And if you see the pictures of it, you see me running. And in the background, it's just Coach Kelly with the biggest smile on his face. Him and Coach Bible chuckling because they knew I wasn't going to throw it. Defense knew I wasn't going to throw it. And, we still got a first down on that.
Good
Nice.
for you, man. All right. Not much as a softball. Better dating experiences in California or in Texas?
I'd say UCLA, absolutely.
Yeah, California women win.
That was a softball, man.
That wasn't softball. I'm just asking, man. I'm a married man now, 36 years old. You gotta ask these youngsters these days.
Coach Mo.
All right, Mo. What do you got? Lockjaw right now?
Well, I will say, man, it's very cool to meet you virtually, but I do want to say that I've never met you, but I think you're on the right track to success in whatever you do. And I would go so far to say I am proud of you, and you're going to accomplish some major things in your life. So just keep paving the way. Never settle for no, because there's always another way around no.
Right.
And just keep pressing forward, man. You're going to do some great things, brother.
Thank you so
means,
much for the words of encouragement. Thank you.
Absolutely.
No doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. That's
Not
what that
right
means.
now. Yep.
I'm gonna shoot you a DM on Twitter and give you my number. And if you ever need anything, 100% reach out, whether it's just advice or apparel, whatever. You know what I mean? Like let me know, because you, like Mo said, dude, like I don't get impressed by a lot of 19-year-olds.
Yeah, for real.
For real, man. Like if someone listening to this isn't gonna know he's 19, they're gonna think he's like 22 to 28.
Or maybe in his
Like
mid-30s.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the truth, man. You've got, Mo said it earlier, like, I want to thank your parents, but it's also on you, man. Like you've said that you hold yourself to a higher standard. You are the man when you walk into a room, but you're also humble. And I know that you're the compassionate, considerate guy that's going to stand up for the guy that's getting bullied in the corner if you need to do that. So, it's super cool. It's my pleasure to meet you, my man. Like I will be a fan for life, for real.
Thank you so much.
This was
Absolutely.
tell you what, hey, Chase, you know my background. It's 21 years of interviewing people, and I will say this: I'm not just pouring more icing on it. All three of us call it like we see it. Every time I left an interview with you, obviously we were laughing at some point, but I felt like I gained something out of it. I gained something. I felt inspired because I was looking at me. I was nowhere near what you were at your age. And I felt inspired as a grown adult man. And it was always great interviews, which left me inspired. And I know they inspired the people who watch those stories. And I speak for all of us, man. I'm incredibly proud of you.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Clinch. I always enjoyed those interviews. Anytime I heard Sean Clinch was coming up to the school, I was like, when do I get to leave class?
When do I get to leave class? I like how you get Mr. Clinch, and then we just get like, thanks, bro.
That's
Come on,
because-
man.
That's
You're
because
gonna
I don't
call me
have any
Mr.
hair,
Murphy. I
and I'm
don't want Mr. Murphy. That's my dad, but come on, man. Huddle hippos for life. I'm just kidding.
My bad.
I'm just giving you shit, man. You're good.
Hey, you're part of the stories inside the Mancave family for eternity. There's no doubt, and we're going to
Yeah.
pay attention to the B Suite podcast with Chase Griffin as soon as that thing is live.
Let us know when that drops so we can help promote you.
Yeah,
For real.
Absolutely. I'd be honored. Thank you.
Chase, we're going
Awesome,
to
man.
keep in touch, all three of us, and you tell your family hello, and we hope we get a chance to see you before you head off to the City of Angels, where you will begin making your mark, your redshirt freshman season.
Yes, sir.
in LA.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Chase,
And
or Big
Done.
Mike. Oh, go ahead, bud.
yeah, no. Just stop recording after this part.
Oh,
But no, like whenever you get to the point where they do like promote any of like the players can actually make money off their likeness
Right.
and stuff like that. Like I'll reach out to you at that point and see if we can collab on some stuff so that way
Right.
we can help
Absolutely.
promote and all that because let's get you paid and all that as well. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Thank you.
well, that part was omitted, but for Big Mike, Chase, and Coach Mo, we'll wrap things up on the other side of this break.
Thank
What a
you.
fucking dick. After I said stop recording, you kept recording. What
No,
a
I
fucking this is the guy you idolize, Chase? Come on, man. What the fuck? I'm just kidding. I'm
we
just
won't,
kidding.
We won't be using that.
Yeah.
We got to start
Where-
over.
Where were you going to middle school at?